What's going on, guys? Today I am back with another H.A.T format replay review for you guys. If you're interested in sending in your H.A.T format replays, you can go down to the video description and find all the information on how to send those in. Anyways, the match I have for you today, we have Insidious, who is going to be on Evilswarm, versus Alias, who is going to be on Spellbook. I believe they already did the rock, paper, scissors, and Insidious won, so he will be able to start this one out. Opening hands, we see Skullmeister, Bottomless, Warning, Caster, Fiendish Chain, and on the other side, we see High Priestess, Spellbook of Life, Fiendish Chain, Justice of Prophecy, and the Grand Spellbook Tower. Here, it looks like Insidious gets a copy of Dark Hole for turn. Unfortunately, no more Evilswarm, so they can't make an Ophion or anything. Here, Alias drew for turn, goes Crescent, and let's see what they get off the Crescent, getting a copy of Secrets. Here, they activate Secrets, getting a copy of Wisdom. Then they go Justice of Prophecy. That gets met with Bottomless, but the Wisdom is able to protect it from trap cards, and they can push in for some damage, set Fiendish Chain, end phase use the effect of Justice, adding a High Priestess and a follow-up Secrets. Back over to Insidious, who gets a copy of Breakthrough Skill, sets the Breakthrough Skill. Unfortunately, again, no Evilswarm. Back over to Alias, who gets a copy of Master there, uses the High Priestess, revealing 3, but that gets met with Warning, and I'm sure the second Priestess will come down, which it does. And so the other Priestess is summoned here. Then they can use the Priestess, banish the Crescent to pop a back row. Going for the Breakthrough Skill, but that is met with the Fiendish Chain, so now it can't attack either. Going for Secrets, adding Blue Boy. And summon Blue Boy, but that gets met with the Breakthrough Skill. Here, Master's activated, revealing Tower to add a copy of Fate. And goes Battle Phase, attacks in with Blue Boy. Activates Tower, sets Fate, and back over to Insidious, who draws a copy of Torrential, and again, very unfortunate hand here. They do have the Dark Hole, though, so they are able to clear the board and set the Torrential, which is at least something. Over to Alias, who gets a copy of Power, and then can use the Tower to put back Secrets and get another copy of Wisdom. Here they go Life, reveal Power, banish Blue Boy, summon back the copy of High Priestess, but that gets met with Torrential, and then Wisdom is chaining, protecting it again. So being able to push for more damage, Insidious needs something here. They get Upstart, which they then activate Upstart, getting a copy of Pandemic, and unfortunately, just kind of a brick from Insidious here. And so we are moving on to a very quick into game number 2. So Insidious will get to start this one out. Opening hands, we see Breakthrough Skill, Dark Hole, Rescue Rabbit, Fiendish Chain, Debunk. So at least slightly better. You have access to Ophion as well as having some nice traps. And on the other side, we see Temperance of Prophecy. This is becoming a bit more normal in Spellbook decks. Justice of Prophecy, Spellbook of Life, High Priestess, and Crescent. So also a fairly decent, well, actually a pretty good hand so far, but they are going to need to kind of hit off of this Crescent for it to be, the best it can be. Anyways, Insidious draws a copy of MST, goes Rescue Rabbit, uses the effect, getting 2 copies of Heliotrope. And here they're going to overlay for a copy of Ophion, use the Ophion effect, getting a copy of Pandemic, and then setting 5 back row. Okay, crazy. Here, Alias gets a copy of MST, uses the Crescent, revealing Power, Secrets, and Wisdom. And they get the copy of Wisdom there. Here they summon Justice and set 2 back row. Breakthrough Skill is activated on the Justice, so they won't be able to use its effect. Insidious gets a copy of Soul Charge, goes Battle Phase, attacks over the Justice. Main Phase 2 activates Heliotrope, getting a copy of Infection, and sets it. Back over to Alias, who gets another copy of Justice. Kind of unfortunate here for them. They are going to go and activate or summon Temperance, and then activate Wisdom to protect it, and then they can use the Temperance effect to tribute it to summon a copy of High Priestess. That is met, well, I guess on summon, they're going to MST the back row, but that hits an MST, which is also going to hit another back row, which hits the Pandemic, which is chained. Here, High Priestess effect banishes 2. Oh, they're banishing the Wisdom to pop the Ophion, but that is met with a Fiendish Chain, so right back over to Insidious, who gets another Fiendish Chain. They go Battle Phase and attack over the High Priestess because of that extra 50 is always nice. Main Phase 2, setting the other Fiendish back over to Alias, who gets a copy of Blue Boy. Summon Blue Boy, use the effect, but that gets met with Fiendish, back over to Insidious, who gets the Torrential again, Activates Soul Charge, getting Heliotrope and Heliotrope. Overlaying both for another Ophion, using the effect, adding a copy of Pandemic here. Setting Torrential and Pandemic back over to Alias, who gets a copy of Secrets. Okay, so they're definitely not out of it yet. And taking some time to think, they summon the Justice. They say it's good, and there's a lot of thinking here. They go for the Torrential and chain the Pandemic, hoping that this can completely turn off, any sort of plays that Alias has. And the Pandemic obviously protects both Ophions. Here, Alias is going to be able to activate the copy of Secrets, getting a copy of Tower, and activating it and passing it over to Insidious, who gets a copy of Upstart. Obviously, they're hoping to just draw something off of this Tower here. And here, Upstart's activated, getting a copy of Rhoda, which is very strong because here they can add a copy of Caster. And then they use the Infection, putting back the Caster to add a copy of Kyrkion. This might just be game, honestly. Using Ophion to get a copy of Pandemic, summoning the Kyrkion, banishing Heliotrope to add Heliotrope and then additional normal to Heliotrope, and push in for some damage. And yep, that is a game number 3 that we are going to see here. Alias will get to start this one out, however. Opening hands, we see Debunk, Caster, Mandragora, Thunderbird, and Dark Hole. On the other side, we see Wisdom, Life, Justice, Eternity, and Secrets. Honestly, solid hand from Alias here. It's not, no, I mean, yeah, having Secrets and Justice plus, enough Spellbook spells to be able to do other plays with is very, very strong. And so let's see what happens. Drawing another copy of Justice for turn, summon Justice, activate Secrets, getting a copy of Blue Boy for the following turn, setting 1, going for Justice effect, adding the High Priestess and another Secrets. So they are pretty set here. Here, Insidious gets a copy of Mandragora, which is good. They summon the Caster and summon a copy of Thunderbird. Attack in with both. Main phase 2, overlay both for a copy of Ophion. The usual plays, add a copy of Pandemic by detaching material, setting 2, and back over to Alias, who just regular top decks the Fate, so that's one less thing they have to search here. Activate Secrets, add power. And let's see. They summon the Justice, activate power to run over the Ophion here, which they are able to do, and then power will trigger to add a copy of Tower. Main phase 2, they're going to go High Priestess. That might get met with the Debunk, though. Let's see. Yep, it is going to get debunked. And so, even with the minimalistic stuff that Insidious has, he is still very much so in this game. Tower is activated, setting another back row, and back over to Insidious, who gets the copy of Torrential here. And they're going to take some time to think. They special Mandragora because the opponent has more monsters. Normal the other Mandragora, but here Fate is activated. Attempting to banish, it seems, but Pandemic is activated, making the E-Swarm monsters currently on the field unaffected by spell and traps. Dark Hole is activated, trying to just clear the Justice and push for a lot of damage, but the copy of Wisdom is activated to protect from spells. So they both kind of have their own pseudo-lances. And here they're overlaying for another copy of Ophion using the effect to get another Pandemic. Going to battle phase, running over the Justice here. Life is getting a little bit low for Alias here. Setting 2 back row, and Alias draws a copy of Bottomless. They then use Tower, putting back Fate, and drawing a copy of Blue Boy. That's very good. They're definitely nowhere near out of this game. Here they're going to go and summon the Blue Boy, using the effect, getting a copy of Fate. Activate Eternity to add back Secrets. Activating Secrets to add Master. Just usual Spellbook type plays. Going for Master, copying Secrets. Did they copy Eternity? Oh, they copied Eternity there to add the Banish Secrets, I believe. Okay. And setting 2 back row, and over to Insidious, who gets a copy of Upstart Goblin. Activates Upstart, getting a copy of Macro. That's very good against Spellbooks. Though Eternity kind of checks it a little bit. Here they're going to use the Fate on Attack Declaration, it looks like, which is attempting to flip a monster face down. So here Insidious is going to activate the Pandemic, and obviously this is non-targeting type effect. So the Pandemic is going to make the Ophion unaffected, so they do have to flip their own Blue Boy, which is completely fine because the attack still goes through. Blue Boy flips up, being able to add a copy of Eternity here. Main phase 2, Ophion is going to activate its effect, adding another copy of Pandemic, setting the 2 back row and back over to Alias, who uses Tower to put back Fate and draw a copy of Justice. That was good. They also drew the Crescent for turn that unfortunately wasn't able to be activated there because they have other Spellbook spells engraved, but they can go Secrets here. And Insidious chains the macro, adding a copy of Fate, but the Secrets will get banished there. And taking more time to think, here Justice is normal summoned. And they say it's good. Activate Eternity to add power. Power's activated. Battle phase, Justice runs over the copy of Ophion, and then Power will activate, getting a copy of Secrets. This is, let me just make sure. That gains 1,000 attack. You can add a spellbook. Okay, so it doesn't have to, it just has to destroy the monster by battle. It doesn't matter if it gets banished or anything like that. Always good to just double check any of that stuff. Here they're going to activate Life, revealing Secrets, banishing Blue Boy to get back Justice, but that is met with the Torrential here. Alrighty, and back over to Insidious, who gets another copy of Upstart, activating Upstart for Rescue Rabbit, which they can still use. Okay, so they're going to normal the Rescue Rabbit, banish it via its effect for a copy of Heliotrope. They say it's good, or, well, I guess they went bottomless, but the Pandemic can check that, so both Heliotropes will stay. And here they can attack in for more damage. Obviously, the double Upstart really kept Alias in this, but Insidious obviously really needed some draws there. Here they go main phase 2, taking more time to think, gonna overlay for, let's wait and see here, another copy of Ophion, and they're gonna use the effect, adding a copy of Infection. Are they out of Pandemics here? 1, 2, 3, yeah, they are out of Pandemics, so not looking great, but they have the Infection, so if they draw into anything, they can at least go for like a Kirkion play or something. Over to Alias, who gets a copy of Fiendish Chain. Here they went for Tower, and it says can't, sorry. Oh, they don't have a Spellcaster. Right, because all the stuff got banished and everything. So they actually can't go for that. And here they're going to normal summon a Blue Boy, adding a copy of Master. Setting 2 back row, back over to Insidious, who gets another Upstart Goblin. And activates it, getting a copy of Kirkion, just like I had mentioned. So here they are going to normal the Kirkion. Banish the Ophion for its effect, but here it gets met with Fiendish Chain. Battle phase, Ophion attacks into Blue Boy. They banish 2 to attempt to, what is the 2? Just change a monster to face down defense position. They say it's good, and the Ophion gets flipped face down. And here they're using the Infestation Infection that says once per turn, shuffle 1 Evilswarm monster from your hand or face-up side of the field into the main deck and add an Evilswarm monster from deck to hand. And they say it's good, but they just bounced it? Oh, okay, so I guess they sort of skipped steps there. I'm guessing what they were doing is, it doesn't say it has to be a different name or anything. So they were basically just shuffling back the Kirkion and then adding a copy of Kirkion in deck. So that's why they just kind of bounced it there. Anyways, here Alias drew a copy of Fiendish Chain. Very grindy game here. You love to see it. There's no Spellbook spells engraved. So here Alias can use the copy of Crescent. And I guess they're really low on Spellbook spells because the Crescent added Crescent. Let me just see. You can only activate 1 Crescent per turn, so that is extremely unfortunate there as well. But I guess they do have follow-up if they survive into the next turn, especially setting the Fiendish Chain back over to Insidious, who drew a copy of Caster, so they might not. Summon Caster, summon Kirkion effect, banish Mandragora, add Thunderbird, additional normal of the Thunderbird, go to battle phase, and yeah, this is just the end of the game, I think. That was a really crazy game, honestly. The first game, it was very unfortunate that Insidious bricked, but obviously they were able to come back and actually take the match, which is extremely impressive. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this match as much as I did. If you did, please leave a like on it. Comment any questions or videos you would like to see in the future. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell to get notified anytime I put a new video out. Share this video with your friends. And as always, make sure to go down to the video description so you can find out how to send in your hat format replays. But anyways, guys, I will see you in the next video.